Welcome everybody to the Selah Dubbcast number 21. Hope everybody's feeling good out there tonight. We're here to raise the vibrations. Big love and unity from the Dubb. How's everybody feeling out there? Leave us a message, like and subscribe. Come say hi. On the show today, we're going to discuss the music of the weekend, blues legend guitar Gabel, and we'll have the weekend recap and the shouts out to all the friends. You are tuned into the Selah Dubb channel here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm Selah shouting out to you from the Adonai Studios. Big love and unity from the Dubb. The Selah Dubbcast is brought to you by Carl Heverly Surf. Check them out at carlheverlysurf.com. Everything from 10-foot longboards to pocket thrusters. All handmade by Carl Heverly himself in Emerald Isle, North Carolina. carlheverlysurf.com. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're feeling good. Big shouts to all the good friends out there. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're going to get through the first segment quickly and get on with the Acousticast. It's an early Acousticast this evening. We got a special show for you. But I just wanted to give some shouts to all the good friends out there. Thanks for tuning in to the Dubbcast number 20 with Brother Jason Herring from Mystery Plan and 10mm Omega. That was a fun interview indeed, and he is a good friend of all of ours. So big thanks, Jason, for doing the interview, and to everybody for tuning in. Also, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Dubbcast 18 with Ja Pops. What a great interview that was. I'm getting into it for sure. Yeah, Pops is from New York City, played drums in Selah Dubb. Don't miss Dubbcast 18 here on the YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for supporting all the vlogs, the Dubbcast, the Acousticast, and all the videos we've been doing the last couple months. It's been a great time indeed as we have taken a little pivot and gone down a new road here to get the music out across the nation. Please smash that subscribe button. We got a lot of fun content on our Selah Dubb channel, and we like to keep in touch with you for sure. Check us out at selahdubb.com, because occasionally the powers that be might just ban us for a little while, so you can always get up with us on selahdubb.com if they don't like what we say and they want to stop us from playing or hear us. Well, then just check us out there. I want to thank all the good friends for all the support out there. Big shouts out to Ken Forrest, who had a birthday this week. Original rock master from Signal Fire, the greatest drummer on the planet. And big shouts out to the Night Nurse and all the good friends here in the Low Country for sure. We've been pulling it together and getting the resources ready for a big summertime. Hopefully we're going to be able to put on some events as the weather gets better, do some outdoor events. I mean, as the vibes get better with the lockdown and everything, hopefully this vaccine will kick in a little bit and people will start feeling a little better, and we'll start getting into doing some shows. Right now, Selah Dubb is officially just on the chill. We're fixing gear. We're writing new music. We're recording our new album, Praxis, doing the videos, doing the podcast here, doing the vlogs. I got the new value cast for all the people who are just training, learning about getting into music and how to keep it going. And so it's going good. We're having a good time in the studio, just working on that stuff and keeping it in full motion. If you want to help us out, come to the Patreon site, Selah Dubb, and drop a little donation there. Get on the Patreon site. We'll give you the perks on the inside, scoops on when we do some of the festivals coming up in the summertime or some of the bigger concerts. We'll give you a little percentage off on tickets and such, and just different perks there on the Selah Dubb channel. Got some extra information that we don't use on YouTube and Facebook and all that. So tune into that. I want to thank all the people from Facebookville and all over the internet for supporting us all these years, especially the last 10 years. As we've been here kind of locked down the last 6 or 8 months, I've been definitely thinking about all the shows we've done and reflecting as I pull out gear and fix stuff. And I think about all the little towns we played in, from up in Virginia and New York, New Jersey, all down in through the Outer Banks, Crystal Coast, throughout the North Carolina coast, South Carolina coast, all these great little towns, Charleston, even into Georgia with Savannah and Florida, and then Athens, Georgia, Charlotte, and then our mountain community that we've been very close with Asheville and Boone and all that, and everybody in the Triangle area, and especially here in Wilmington, Carolina Beach, who've embraced us so much. We've had so many incredible years of playing shows, and I was just on the run and wasn't really connecting with everybody like I should here online. So because I've been doing show after show and just playing the honky tonks for so many years, and you kind of get in that rut and you get kind of worn out, and just things just keep moving in that motion. So this is giving us time to reflect, time to make a pivot, time to get more product to you guys and some better content, better information, and help us touch the rest of the country that we haven't touched by playing live. So I want to thank everybody for supporting all the years, especially all the people on Facebook, the world of Facebook. As Facebook changes, as social media changes, I just look back into kind of the glory days of YouTube and Facebook when we were fully connected in a different manner, and the algorithm wasn't really in the full control the way it is now. You didn't even know what the word algorithm is, but it was. But now it's a different world. We're not definitely connected with the same inside people. Everything kind of sets us up in these little pockets and little, alleyways. But I want to reconnect with all those old friends from way back when. I love you guys. I'm so thankful for all the people that let us crash in your house, all the people that helped us out on the road, all the people that got fans to come to the show in places that we, weren't well known, all the people that spread our music. And it's been such a fun time. I'm coming into 30 years now. I can't even believe that. And it's just been one thing after another, just an incredible time. But now that we've been in this lockdown, I myself have been through a few phases, only taken this much time off 3 times in my whole career. This is the 3rd time. And the first time was definitely after 9/11, and everything just screeched to a halt, and everybody was kind of just shell shocked, and the whole country just, for about a year, we didn't have a lot of gigs, and everything just reformulated. And that was a very hard time for us. I went from a full roots group into like a live band setting to this little 3-piece band that was much tighter and smaller. And that group, the giant roots group in Boone that traveled with the trailer and all that, we played in a different time when the clubs were different. It was left in a bygone era. And so the clubs were packed with different crowds that were there to see live music in a different way. Everything was structured different because the older crowd above us that was playing music had a different structure, how they did it, that had been set in motion for 20, 25 years. So then after 9/11, that all crumbled, and DJs came in, different people took over new clubs, and we had to reset ourselves. So we became the Selah sound system as a 3-piece for till 2008. 2008, everything reset itself again. After the economic crash, many of the clubs changed up, things changed up, and we had to drop out of the mountains and come to the beach. That's when we moved to the beach officially, and we left. I left the music studio I was working in, came down here, and officially took it on full force as a full-on beach group. And so that's when Selah Dubb fully became Selah Dubb. And that's the time when we've gotten embraced the most by the community here on the coast. And we've had these incredible experiences with family that has just helped us out. And it's been an incredible time with this, the surf community and all the people involved with all the different fundraisers we've done, different events, and just everything from weddings, parties, crazy clubs, giant festivals. It's just been incredible. So I look at it like, hey, if we never played again, I'm so grateful, but I'm ready for a new chapter. But I know we're all going through a big change. The whole country's going through a big change. The whole world's going through a big change. So I foresee this as when I come back with Selah Dubb, I'm going to try to make it more larger events. That's why I'm trying to unify the crowd, unify all you guys as much as I can, get in touch with you guys as much as I can here, so I can keep you guys notified when we start getting back out on the road, and I can put forth larger events with more notice beforehand, sell some tickets, get some bands together, and just have more events, larger festivals and stuff. We're definitely going to be playing outdoors for a few months until we figure out what's going on. So that's the whole goal here, is with all the videos and podcasting and vlogging. I just want to connect with you guys. I want to reach out to you guys. I want to woodshed my music as we get the new album out. I want to document the music. That's why I'm doing the Acousticast, doing different music every night, acoustic. And then we'll bring in the band and play live with the band here on the podcast, on the Acousticast. And it's been a great time and a great exploration for me. I've had time to do spring cleaning here and get everything back to normal. And, I am ready to get back to the music. I know a lot of my friends have all been kind of cut off who play music, or people who went out to see music. We're all hurting. We're hurting for that unification. We're hurting for that hug from the friends that we haven't seen in months. I think about all the people that I knew at the clubs, that was a big part of their life, just coming out to be with people at the reggae shows. And I know that a lot of people are hurting right now, missing that unification. So I know that if I'm missing it, the introverted guy I am, I know there's a lot of people out there really, really missing it, and especially a lot of musicians who feel like, wow, where are we going to go with this? So if you are a musician, my words to you are keep pushing forward, keep reaching out to your fans, keep working here on your content here online, so that the fans know where you are, what you're up to, and get to know you in a better mindset, and just keep pushing forward. Don't let yourself get stagnant or get still, because that will eat you up. And for all the families out there and the couples out there and people that are strained because we're just trapped together and we're in a situation where we're financially burdened and we're all kind of strapped and we don't know what's next, give each other a break. Think about yourself. You might be a little bit of a pain in the ass as well. If you're thinking that your spouse is a pain in the ass, or your family's gotten crazy, or your mom's driving you nuts, or your kids are out of control. Well, think about 3 things you've done to make your spouse or your family crazy, and take some inventory and judge not right now. I think that's what the whole nation needs to do, stop judging. And that's what this show right here is all about today. This is the Raise the Vibration show. This is the show here to let y'all know there's a new light coming at the end of the tunnel here. We're going to get the vaccine going. We're going to knock out this COVID, and we're going to come to a new light, a new energy, and get our freedom back, and get together and play music, join together and share our art, share our unity, and come together as humanity again. And what we need to do right now is not let the system and let the online system and the algorithms tear us apart, divide us, make us think that we're all so separate. We're really American. We're really unified. It's just the person down the block who might have a different political view than you, but definitely all good people here who love each other. And it really has nothing to do with your political thought or the way you look. It's really about us joining together in unity, because when this all ends, we got to come out strong. And this nation has to come out unified and do something big to get out of this, fix our financial situation. So every musician, every artist, every person out there has got to take a responsibility on themselves to do something bigger, greater for the community, for the nation, and for yourself out there. So reach out and hug the one you love right now. Get up there and play a song today. If you play music, do some art and spread that vibe. It's really important, On the show today, we got some fun stuff indeed. I want everyone to raise the vibration. We'll get through the Dubbcast quickly and get on to the Acousticast, which is the next segment. This is the Dubbcast, number 21. Insights and opinions from all of our good friends around. We're going to be doing interviews in the next few weeks with Ross Ibert, and interviews with JD Beulah. Who else? Matt Irie. Peter Popolo is going to be back. The Night Nurse is going to be on. We got some special guests talking about extraterrestrial energy. We got some guests talking about spiritual energy. So we got some fun stuff coming on the Dubbcast. Stay tuned. In a little while, we got the Acousticast is next with some special music. Today on the Dubbcast, I want to discuss some goings on. I've heard a lot of musicians the last couple of days online. This last week has kind of surprised me, talking a lot of smack about the Super Bowl performance and the weekend. And what's funny is a lot of these people have been talking like they don't even know who he is. It's what's kind of strange to me, because he's been around since like 2014, or I can't remember when he did that. What was that song he did with like what was that? He did like a song with that deaf whatever the deaf band. What was that? Anyways, he did a song with that techno group. Can't remember, what was Starboy or something. That was like 2015, but he wasn't called The Weeknd then. I think he was called what was he? Oh, Fattel or whatever. Anyways, a lot of people talking smack about the Super Bowl, especially a lot of musicians, and I thought that was really pretty weird. I felt like his halftime show was exactly how The Weeknd does his music, and it really represents a different time period right now where music has come back to a lo-fi setting, and it's kind of talking to you a different way. So if you're in a crowd of 50,000 people, The Weeknd's music's not going to have that impact like you're expecting, you know. And some people have been talking about him lip syncing, and there's backing tracks, but you cannot do the Super Bowl without backing tracks, you know, and lip syncing. I think Prince played guitar live and sang live, but everything else was backing tracks when Prince was up there. A lot of people were just wanting to throw back at the Super Bowl. I guess they're wanting another, have Aerosmith come up there, or have Britney Spears or something. But I felt like The Weeknd was a cool transition, a cool change, and a little bit more cutting edge. And I enjoyed it a lot because it was something more modern and something different. And, you know, what's funny about it is he paid to be on there, and he's working hard to be the big star, you know, be the big worldwide, you know, phenomenon. And so more power to him. You know, a lot of people give him a hard time because he sounds a lot like Michael Jackson. I would say Smokey Robinson, Michael Jackson, he has that signature, but along with that, he does some just really strange stuff that's very original. I would never do, but you know, he kind of talks to the mic and just talks to people in a certain way through his songs that is just stone cold. Best way to describe it. So that might piss a few people off. He might ruffle a few feathers, but I got a feeling The Weeknd is here to stay. And people, if you don't understand him, it's got to think about what he's doing. It really speaks for their generation and maybe their attitude towards the world right now. You know, when we were kids, we had slamming heavy music, crazy long haired, you know, musicians being rebels, you know, and this is something more like a loungy kind of, almost a throwback to, you know, Sinatra or Motown. And in a lot of ways, that's a little off-putting to people who don't really get it, you know. So I like that. I like the fact that he's, you know, how wild can you get? So he's taking it back. So more power to The Weeknd. Anybody who's crying about it, this article in OK Magazine talks about how he got snubbed in the Grammys and how everybody's talking smack about him. But you know, I just feel like when the musicians out there are talking crap, that's where I'm tuned into a lot of musicians online through Reddit and through also through Twitter and such. And a lot of these musicians who were talking crap, they really were showing their age, because it seemed like they didn't even know who he was. And I was kind of shocked at that. I felt like it was kind of a waste of your energy as a musician to talk smack, since, judge not. I mean, how are you going to judge that? People talking smack about all these groups as a musician, and it seems like people are just going to judge what you're doing. And also, it just makes you seem dated. So anyways, I think the weekend's here to stay, so more power to them. That's always been the case, I guess, but with everybody, so. All right, the next segment, very important here. I want to give shouts out to an original blues legend, Guitar Gabel. Here's the story. When I was a kid, way back when, we had a group called Sloppy Joe, and my producer that I was working with for the little independent label got us in touch with this guy, Guitar Gabel. And Guitar Gabel was from the original blues, he's original blues legend. And they wanted us to do a song with him and stuff and get him on stage. So make a long story short, we went to his house and we hung out with Guitar Gabel and sat down and rehearsed with him and played some blues with him. And he had experienced some health problems, so he's a little slower then, and he's probably getting into his 70s. And he picked up the guitar and played it turned all the bass up and all the treble down and played it with his thumbs. And it just blew our mind. He just started playing these incredible leads with his thumbs. And this guy from the Carolinas here in Gastonia playing the incredible blues. And as we walked through his house, he had pictures of him with Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, pictures with him with the Rolling Stones, him with James Brown. I mean, it was just an incredible experience to just experience Guitar Gabel. And so I just thought I want to talk about him and his story, because it's really interesting. He played with all the legends, and let's see what it talks about right here. He played with everybody: James Brown, Curtis Mayfield, Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Buddy Guy, Albert King, Rufus Thomas. I mean, he played with every single one of the greatest musicians, played back in the background on certain recordings and stuff. And he had this little hit he did on this little tiny label. But the way the music industry was back then, back in the 50s, his little record label didn't really worry about authenticity too much. And he did this song. I'm trying to look for where it is here. I can't remember what the name of the hit is here. I'm trying to find it without having to look into the article too deeply. But he did this song. I think Buddy Guy was on the track, and he was here in North Carolina and couldn't get out west. But this other guy, Thomas, let's see, what's the other guy's name? Gabriel Paradin was another Guitar Gabel who was on the same record label. So they had two different Guitar Gabels. So that guy went out west with this hit and sold the records out of his car and was on the radio out west, while the Guitar Gabel back east was representing back east. And he didn't get and Guitar Gabel here back east didn't get the royalties, didn't get the money, didn't get the gigs. And so he had to set out throughout the late 50s into the 60s on a journey to recover his legacy, basically. And so for many years, there was two Guitar Gabels out there, Gabriel Paradin and Thomas Gabel. So the two guys were on the same record label. Imagine that. Imagine somebody selling your recording and representing your recording. It was crazy. So, anyways, Guitar Gable played with everybody. Talks about this one night he was in a honky tonk and he was playing on stage, and James Brown was in the room, and somebody came in shooting up the place because somebody was out there with his wife. And so he was out there to somebody was trying to get somebody's cheating wife, and Guitar Gable and James Brown had to exit the stage and run out of the club as it was exploding in gunfire. And talks about how his music later influenced Jimi Hendrix and even later influenced Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimmy Vaughan, and he hung out in Texas with those guys in the early 70s. And just an amazing experience. So Guitar Gable, to make a long story shorter, he came out with us on stage after rehearsal and jumped up there, and we were just a little funky little ska punk band, and we had all our little kids from high school there, and Guitar Gable jumped up on stage and we did a blues song with him, and the crowd was like, who is this little guy? It was incredible. And but he kept on playing, and he took over the stage, and Guitar Gable finished out that set and probably played like 10 more songs, and we just had to keep following with him. He just said blues in G, blues in A, this is in G minor, whatever. And he'd be screaming at you, what's the chord, B flat 7, whatever, he'd be screaming at you. But incredible experience meeting Guitar Gable, blues legend indeed. And I'm going to have my good friend Bert Ray come in, who is also a blues aficionado who knows more about the story and is a great storyteller, to tell you more about Guitar Gable, Lightning Hopkins, Jelly Roll Morton, and Robert Johnson. He knows all the big incredible blues legends, and we'll have him come on the show and tell us more. So I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Dubbcast. We're going to get on to the second segment here. So everyone stick around. The second half of the show is on in just a minute. This is the Dubbcast, big in love and unity. Thank you for tuning in. The Selah Dubbcast is brought to you by Adonai Productions and Adonai Surf. Check them out. AdonaiSurf.com. This is the Dubbcast. Tune in to Dubbcast number 22 with Bert Ray. Acousticast is next. Big thanks for tuning in. Bim!